Firstly, Gaffers, it's a few days on since the win up in Kent. What are your reflections on the win at Dover?
Very pleased to get the result. It was one that was very important to get a result in, and those ones put you under a little bit more pressure when they've only won once in the whole season. You didn't want to be the second team, so it was. I was pleased the way things went. It was a little bit of a banana skin, but we came through it well, and in the end we're comfortable winners.
Because it was totally different to the game that preceded it, obviously at Plainmoor, taking on Wrexham, and just shows that your team can cope with both scenarios.
Yeah, well, every team gives you a different challenge, and if you don't do your homework or you don't take the next game serious enough, then you can come unstuck at this level, definitely. So you've always got to be the old Boy Scouts, be prepared, and we like to think we work hard in our pre-match thoughts and our pre-match work as to the next team that we're playing, because there's all different shapes, tactics. Some want to stay behind the ball, some want to attack you, some press high, some don't press, some want to pass the ball a million times, and others just want to get it forward. So you just have to be aware of what you think the opposition are doing. Certainly give yourself a good chance.
Well, that might tempt fate, Gaffer. It was nice to actually see Danny Ryan on the bench, of course, and actually showed the strength of the squad, because with the game locked at 1-1, he brought Duke McKenna on, and he obviously ended up getting the third goal. Yeah,
it's always nice when that happens, but we felt it needed a little bit of an injection, if you like. One big and one little one, but the big one was always going to cause a problem, i.e. Danny Ryan, and Duke's always got that little drop of his shoulder which he's used, and he is a good finisher. So he was happy. He didn't go all that way for nothing. and both of them, played a part in making sure that the last 20 minutes was fairly comfortable.
Now, your team are on an excellent run of form. 7 wins in the last 10, just the 2 defeats. And one of the observers up at Dover on Saturday described your team as the best team to visit the Cradle Ground that season, which is always nice to hear. However, there is still just over a third of the season to go, so it's important that the team and the supporters don't get too carried away too quickly, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that was my dad that told you that, but no, you're right, of course. But I've always said we don't want to spoil their hope, and we don't want to spoil their enthusiasm for what might be, and so each game almost becomes more pressure to keep the happiness of people, because it's so much of a better week for the players, for the staff, for the supporters. When you've won a game, when you've lost a game, you're sort of a bit miserable for a couple of days, and so for the players and their families, supporters and their families, it's better that you win a game. So we know that we're under that sort of pressure each week, but the club is in confident mood, and we do feel that we can take on all types of opposition, and the more you do it, then the more confident it's the players that have got to be the confident ones that then goes on to the supporters. I don't want to stop the confidence of the supporters, because it's just started growing again, and that gets more people through the gate. It gets that more expectancy from us. So you've got to make sure that you've got the players that can live up to the expectancy, and that's what we're trying to do.
Plainmoor is a very happy place to be at the moment with the team being on the full moon, and there's no better illustration that, of course, on a match day with the Yellow Army who have been right behind your team. It does really feel like the club is all one entity at the moment. So you must be looking forward to having 2 games at Plainmoor in the space of 3 days.
Yeah, it's a big bonus at the moment when you get a couple of home games. at a vital time. Now we've got, Barnet that have not particularly done so well recently, but still a danger. And then you've got the team that's had a fantastic season, still in all the cups. If they win all their games, they can be top of the league, because there's quite a few games behind, and they're a good, strong side. So if you can get the 6 points from the 2 games, then that'll be lovely. That'll be fantastic. But we're going to have to do very well to get those 6 points. But we are confident in the fact that sometimes it's not just turning up. You've got to go and turn up and do something. You've got to perform. You've got to affect the game. You've got to make sure that with both teams that we play, Barnet and Bournemouth, that we get our game going. And we know that our game, when it's going well, can cause problems to any opposition. And then when we get their fans' support and enthusiastic support behind us, we're a force at home, and those 2 clubs will know that as well. So we didn't start off well at home, unfortunately, early part of the season, but we've recovered from that, and the excitement about Plainmoor now is, bring them on, we'll give them a good game.
It does really feel like Plainmoor's turning into a fortress then. If we have a look at our next opponents, Barnet, a little bit unpredictable, they've had their high moments, they've had their low moments, but it wasn't that long ago that they were looking to make a concerted effort to push for the playoffs, much like ourselves, so there'll be another team to be wary of, won't they?
Definitely, Dean Brennan came in. We lost his first game against us at Barnet, and we didn't play well that day. We didn't do enough, and they were up for it. New manager syndrome, all that sort of stuff, and it was a poor day for us. So it was a long time ago now, certainly before our good run. So hopefully we can put the record straight and play well against a team that we didn't play well previously. Although, as you rightly intimated, they are a team that on their day can be very dangerous, that's for sure. Just because they're in that lower half of the table at the moment doesn't mean to say they couldn't suddenly look like world beaters. But we've got a job to stop that and do well ourselves.
Finally, Gaffer, as we're now starting to play teams that we've obviously already played once in the season, you referred to Barnet up there, or didn't play quite so well and lost the game. Does it give you added satisfaction that you look and see how your squad has evolved and all the faith that you've continued to show in the players throughout the course of the season?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you have to change personnel, or you have to change shape when you think it's right. But generally you try and keep the equilibrium. You can't try and, because otherwise you'd be changing it every week. You'd be taking somebody off for a mistake, taking somebody off because the crowd have got at them a little bit because they're not having a good game, but they're good players. And you just have to keep building that confidence of the player, the directors, the supporters, and I can't, the manager and his staff, me, Downsy and the rest of the staff, we can't work in hindsight. We have to make a decision, and all our decisions are done for the right reasons, of course. And you're never going to get it all right all the time because you're dealing with 22 players, it's 22 individuals. You get injuries, you get lack of form, you get good form. So it's trying to read the next event, if you like, and then we have to make a decision to put into practice what we've been doing into that game and hope it comes off for us, but you do it for the right reason. So when you do get a good run, it's a lot easier to pick the team. Obviously you get a couple of injuries here and there and you have to put somebody else in, but the feeling and the structure's there for the people that then come into it. So it's It's not an easy one because everybody's, you know, a good manager after the event, and I understand that, of course. But you know, I've never been scared to make decisions that you think in your own heart are the right decisions, and you've done it for the right reason.
Well, I appreciate you joining us this morning, Gaffer, and the very best of luck over the next 2 home games.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.